If the Series 5500 is on sale for around £80 or less, then you can probably just go ahead and buy it. Cleaning results are brilliant. It looks good, feels great, and has decent battery life alongside the dentist's recommended features of a timer, pacer, and a pressure sensor. Rarely is a toothbrush bad, particularly when it's made by Philips. The biggest question mark over the 5500 for me is whether you can gain better value for money by considering alternative brushes. The Sonicare Series 5300, for example, is nigh on identical and might be available for a few pounds less. Or if you're not brand conscious, consider the Oral-B Pro 3 series, which will likely work out quite a bit better value when you consider it can be purchased for around £40 and uses brush heads that tend to be half the cost of the Sonicare equivalents. What makes the 5500 stand out is that you are getting the essential features you need and not lots of unnecessary extras. Compared to the 5300 that sits below it in the Philips range, the main difference is the 5500 has two cleaning modes, clean and white, rather than the two different brushing intensities. It also has an LED and mode name on the handle for each, making it much clearer which of the two I have selected. I do prefer this to no label at all. Truthfully, whilst the white mode feels different on the teeth and gums and lasts a further 40 seconds, it doesn't deliver dramatically different results. If I had particularly stained teeth, maybe when paired with the supplied W2 brush head, I might see some more significant improvement, but nothing that couldn't be achieved with a different brush head, and Philips makes many, on the clean mode. Just take a look at the plaque disclosing tests, barely anything left behind. Compared to using a manual brush, the Sonicare does all the work for me. I just move it tooth to tooth. Unlike some of the more affordable Sonicare models, the 5500 offers up to 62,000 movements per minute. It therefore gives me the best Sonicare cleaning experience. I have no grounds for complaint. When a brush head is positioned in tight spaces such as between the molar teeth and my cheek, it can make the brush work less effectively. The next generation technology built into this handle is supposed to deliver more consistent cleaning performance. I can't say I noticed any meaningful difference between this and previous Sonicare brushes, but I also can't say there isn't an improvement. Irrespective of the mode, the 5500 is configured to sextant pacing. This means I get alerts to move from one zone of the mouth to another at 20-second intervals. It's a slightly different approach to the 30-second quadrant pacing that a large number of brushes, including other Sonicare models, have. I do like how after 2 minutes it powers off automatically. It makes it really clear I have achieved the recommended brushing time. Each time I power the brush on, it defaults back to the last used mode. It's also fairly quiet in use, producing an audible humming sound that I measured at up to 63 decibels. I've learned from working with dentists that brushing with too much force can damage my teeth and gums. I try to avoid it, but it can still happen at times. I'm a fan of a pressure sensor that lights up, like it does on the Series 6100, to alert me I am doing wrong. The lack of such isn't a deal breaker here because unlike Oral-B, Philips uses a clear vibration pattern and audible signal to alert me. Such alerts work well for blind and deaf users too. Philips goes above and beyond compared to other brands, allowing features like the pressure sensor to be deactivated if I choose. One piece of extra tech that isn't essential but is useful is the brush head replacement reminder. Like most other Sonicare handles, the 5500 reads the RFID chip built into the brush sync compatible head. The handle tracks the head's usage and alerts me via an LED and vibration when the head has passed its recommended usage time. Bristles do wear and clean less effectively over time, and even I, as a toothbrush tester, can forget when I last replaced my head. Typically sized and weighted to most electric brushes, the 5500 is a little larger in the hand than the slimmer 11 and 4100 series. This is mainly because of the built-in rechargeable lithium-ion battery. I achieved 51 days on a single charge compared to the 17 with the 4100. With such battery life, I only need to top up every 6 weeks or so. 3 LEDs on the handle give feedback on the remaining charge. When very low, the added vibration pattern through the handle is useful as an extra reminder. Whilst I would like to hope that the included battery far exceeds the supplied 2-year warranty, it's worth mentioning it can be fairly easily replaced if needs be. It's not something Philips are actively promoting, but my instructional video linked below demonstrates how. Although there is a version of the 5500 supplied with a travel case, it does not offer charging like some other models. You can buy the CP2171 case and CP2149 cable as optional accessories and make this happen if you so choose. I must praise Philips on how slim the case is. The 5500 is by no means slippery to the touch even when wet. The matte finish to the handle is surprisingly grippy considering the lack of textured surfaces. I think the colour options and overall design is better than the gloss plastics found on the Oral-B Pro 3 for example. It's somewhat surprising that the 5500 doesn't have a seamless button design like the Prestige 9900. There is a noticeable gap between it and the rest of the handle. I have no evidence from my weeks of testing to suggest that reliability should be an issue. Perhaps gunk could build up here. But one positive benefit is that the 5500's power come mode button is softer and easier to use than the seamless one on the Prestige. In an attempt to be more sustainable, gone is the plastic packaging in preference for paper. It also means that the charging stand has a USB Type A connector at the end of it and not a 2-pin adapter that you might expect. No USB to 2-pin adapter is included in the box. This can be purchased separately. A small gripe I have is that Philips prints on the box of this European version as having been made in the Netherlands. It's not strictly true when printed on the base of the charging stand are the words "Made in China." It feels a little unethical to make such claims. I would happily use the Series 5500 daily. There are far worse brushes out there. There's a link in the description to buy if you want to make it your next toothbrush.